love him so when he flips that dough, he's Pizza Boy USA.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one if you are new to the channel. Ford Mustang GT. Obviously, I'm super excited to be in this one because I own one, a 2019 Ford Mustang GT. Having said that, there's actually several changes for the 2020 Mustang GT. Not huge ones, but several of them nonetheless. So I will be going over all of them for you guys in this particular video. And just like last year, this is still the #1 selling sports car in the world. So that's the reason I bought one. A lot of bang for your buck in this thing. So in this video, I will be testing out everything from acceleration to braking to sound system to exhaust clip, all of that. And this one does have the active exhaust, so I'm excited for that as well. So what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so there will be a few different configurations you can go with for the 2020 Mustang GT. First one being your base fastback, starting at $35,630. Then there is the premium fastback, which actually is the one we have today, starting at $39,630. And the premium convertible starting at $45,130. And so if you were curious, all of those prices increased $275 from the 2019 model year, so a modest increase for all those. Nonetheless, powering this beast is going to be a 5-liter naturally aspirated V8, putting out 460 horsepower at 7,000 RPM, 420 pound-feet of torque available at 4,600 RPM. Power sent to the rear wheels, of course, through your choice of either a 6-speed manual, which comes standard, or an optional 10-speed automatic with paddle shifters, going for $1,595 if you wanted to go with that option. But I actually have the 10-speed automatic, and I still love it, although I've driven the 6-speed in the Mustang GT plenty of times, and I absolutely love that too. Ultimately, it's going to come down to personal preference there. There's a big difference when it comes to speed as well with those transmissions. For instance, 0 to 60 time in the 10-speed comes in at 3.9 seconds. 0 to 60 in the 6-speed comes in at 4.3 seconds. So pretty substantial there. Although many would argue the 6-speed is, of course, a little more engaging, the 10-speed is going to be quicker. Quarter mile time, get this, 11.9 seconds from the factory. That's pretty darn sweet. Top speed electronically limited at 155 miles per hour. And MPG numbers come in at 15 in the city, 25 highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. And I average about 22 miles per gallon. I think it's like 22.3 in my last 9,000 miles or so, in case anybody wanted a real number when it comes to that. But before we get to the paddle shifter test here, or any kind of acceleration test in the Mustang, I did want to mention the drive modes. And so there's a couple toggle switches located just in front of the shifter there, giving you different drive modes like normal, sport, track, drag, and snow and wet. So essentially those drive modes will adjust things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the traction control. There's actually a separate toggle switch for the steering sensitivity as well. I wanted to mention that. But when it comes to those drive modes, personally, I tend to leave it on sport. That is the fun one where you can really hear the downshifts, and it shifts quite frequently but quickly with the 10-speed automatic. I will say that. So I love leaving it in sport mode. That's just my personal preference. But if you did want to take it to the track, you do have that driving mode as well as if it rains or snows, that mode is going to be there for you as well. But like I was mentioning though, just to the left of that drive mode button, you have your steering modes. And so they will include normal, comfort, and sport. And sport is the one I leave it in there. It provides a much weightier steering feel, so it instantly points you in the direction that you want to go, and really one of the best steering feels of any of the last 500 cars I've reviewed, and that is part of the reason why I got the Mustang as well. I love the steering feel in this thing. But anyways, now let me touch on track apps before we get to that 0 to 60. And so track apps can be accessed through the steering wheel mounted controls on the right side there. It's going to be displayed up on the small digital gauge cluster in the middle there. That gives you things like your acceleration timer for 0 to 60, quarter mile. There's also your braking performance, 60 to 0. There's also lap timer. There's a bunch of different statistics that actually get saved up there as well. So if you wanted to do a 0 to 60 run, as I have done on my channel plenty of times in my Mustang, that's where you're going to be able to see how quickly you were actually able to pull that off. And so I love that feature as well. But that feature is available only in track mode, which turns off the traction control. So make sure you got some sticky tires like the one on this today, so you could fully utilize the grip and the acceleration in this beast. But so anyways, having now mentioned all of that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's start with the paddle shifters. I want to see how quickly they react for us here. I kind of already know, but after that, we'll do the acceleration test, giving the control back to the Mustang. And let's go ahead and do the paddle shifter test now. Let's see how quickly they react for us here. Whoa. Yep. They're quick. I love them in my car too. I kind of wish they were magnesium, rather than the plastic that we have here, but dang, they are quick. Let me tell you guys that. Paddle shifters are instantaneous, so you are not going to be disappointed when you're using them, as I never am when I use them in my own car. But anyways, let's give control back to the Mustang. I'm just going to put it back in drive there, and let's do a quick little acceleration test, and let's see how quickly we can get the new 2020 Mustang GT here up to speed. All right, you guys ready? We're going to use the acceleration timer, and here we go. Yeah, there was a little bit of spinning, just ever so slightly, but let me tell you guys, it feels absolutely wonderful. And on the street, what I've been able to do is 4.7 seconds for that 0 to 60, but on the track, it has been shown tons of times 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds because you get no spinning whatsoever. So 5.2 seconds on the street is pretty darn good. Again, I was able to pull off 4.7 on my own Mustang GT, and it will do 3.9 seconds on the track for you. So plenty of an acceleration, plenty of fun here in the Mustang GT. Wow, that gets your heart rate up, man. That's fun. Did want to mention with that acceleration though, if you were to take the Mustang GT to the track, there is a line lock feature as well, where it essentially locks the front brakes, allowing the rear wheels and tires to spin freely, warming up the tires before you actually get up to the line. So I did want to mention that as well. That is of course there for you too. But to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so up front you will find 14-inch ventilated front disc with 4 piston front calipers. In the back, 13-inch ventilated rear disc with single piston rear calipers. And that is the standard setup, and I want to put it that way because there is actually a performance package level 1 and 2 available for the Mustang GT. The performance pack level 1 is what we have today. That actually goes for $5,195, which is actually an increase over the 2019 performance pack level 1. Back when I bought it, it was $3,995, so it did jump up there a little bit. But level 2 goes for $6,500. Either setup that you go with gives you 15-inch ventilated front disc by Brembo, of course, with Brembo's 6-piston front caliper. So quite a larger braking setup, a lot better braking feel, and the braking feel is absolutely amazing in the Mustang GT, which brings me back to my original point when I first started this video. Tons of bang for your buck when it comes to performance with the Mustang, let me tell you. So absolutely no complaints from me there. Touching on suspension and handling, up front you get an independent strut type front suspension, in the back independent rear suspension, and you will also get monotube shocks, of course, cross axis suspension joints as well. And if you were to go with either performance package, you will also get a strut tower brace, heavy duty front springs, K-brace, larger radiator, unique chassis tuning, an upsized rear sway bar, and a torsion differential as well. So plenty of suspension components if you were to go with either performance pack, hence part of the reason why I actually went with the performance pack level 1 in my own Mustang. Magnaride damping suspension actually comes with the performance pack level 2, and it's available as a standalone option as well. But that's always an option I like to recommend, and perhaps my only regret, the one I wish I would have gone with in my own 2019 Mustang, because it really does give you the best of both worlds. And so it monitors each shock absorber individually, not only adapting to the road's imperfections, giving you a smoother ride, but it also tightens up the suspension during heavy cornering, again, giving you the best of both worlds. So I definitely like that option there. Overall, as far as ride quality goes, it's perfectly fine, especially with that Magnaride damping suspension. You're not going to be disappointed there. If you were to lower it and increase the wheel size, like I did personally, ride quality is of course going to suffer a little bit, but still I'm plenty fine with it, what I got set up right now. Steering feel is absolutely amazing, especially in that sports steering mode, no issues there. Cabin noise is wonderful, I put it that way because of the exhaust system, and specifically the active exhaust that we have here today. I will do an exhaust clip, a little comparison with the different modes later in the video, so do want to mention that. Love the cabin noise here. And when it comes to visibility, I can see perfectly fine out the back, certainly better than the Camaro. Really wonderful visibility when it comes to a Mustang, more than you would expect in a sports car, quite honestly. Rain sensing windshield wipers actually come with the Safe and Smart package that goes for $1,000. Wanted to mention that too. Essentially what that is whenever the Mustang detects any kind of rainfall or even drizzle, it automatically turns on the windshield wipers. It's just one less thing you have to worry about, so you can better focus more of your attention on enjoying the drive. So love that as well. And by the way, if you were to go with that package, that also includes pre-collision assist, automatic emergency braking, automatic high beams, lane keep alert, and adaptive cruise control as well. But so that about rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's go ahead and find a spot, and let's now take a look at the exterior of this brand new 2024 Mustang GT, finished in magnetic metallic. All right, you guys, here she is, the 2024 Mustang GT. Let me jump into the colors since I mentioned this one is magnetic metallic. Deleted colors for 2020 are going to include Need for Green, the best color ever made, Orange Fury, Ruby Red, and Ingot Silver. Replacing some of those, the new colors for 2020 are going to be Twister Orange, Rapid Red, Grabber Lime, which looks awesome in my opinion, and Iconic Silver. So those are going to be the new colors for 2020. But let's go ahead and start up front on this one. LED headlights up front with LED signature lighting comes standard. They of course do come with the automatic feature, meaning when it starts to get dark out at night, those headlights will turn on automatically for you there. LED fog lamps just below coming standard as well. And of course you have that chrome pony logo up front. And there is a black accent package I wanted to mention. That goes for $995. That's actually going to give you a black pony logo along with a black rear pony logo or 5.0 badging, and the black 5.0 badging on the front fenders as well, along with a gloss black roof and unique 19 by 8.5 inch black alloy wheels. So quite a bit actually with that black accent package. So that's there for you if you wanted it. Hood vents up top here, let me show those to you guys. These actually are functional. You guys can see there's actually holes in those, so it does actually allow the engine to cool a little bit there. And if you go with either Performance Pack Level 1 or Performance Pack Level 2, you will get unique front lips with those two particular packages as well. Let's open and make our way to the side of the Mustang here. Black window surrounds coming standard. Taking a look at the side mirrors, they are body colored power adjustable side mirrors with integrated turn signals if you go with the premium trim. That premium trim is what's going to give you the integrated turn signals, and actually heated side mirrors with the premium as well. Taking a look down a little bit, 5.0 badging again on the front fenders, and taking a look at the wheel setup, 18 by 8 inch aluminum alloys coming standard, 19 by 8.5 inch black alloys again with the black accent package, 19 by 9 in the front, 19 by 9.5 in the back. These are going to be black multi-spoke wheels with the Performance Package Level 1. That of course is what you were looking at right now. So a staggered fitment there. Downside is you can't rotate the tires. Plus side is you're going to get better grip because it's a little thicker width in the back at least. And with that Performance Pack Level 2, even thicker tires coming in at 19 by 10.5 up front, 19 by 11 in the back. So excellent handling because of that with the Performance Pack Level 2. And there are actually other designs available if you wanted to go that route as well. But so now let's go ahead and make our way to the back. First thing I actually wanted to mention to you guys, take a look at this. Shark fin antenna up top. I usually don't make a big deal about that, but with the Mustang, typically it's not there. In 2019, it was this circular dome kind of thing, and it was a lot smaller and much more out of the way, but that shark fin antenna kind of stands out a bit more. Not sure if I'm digging it or not, but that's one of the subtle changes for the 2020 Mustang, so did want to mention that nonetheless. Let's go ahead and make our way completely to the back. Performance Pack Level 1 spoiler is what you're looking at right now. Of course, the Performance Pack Level 2 is going to be a black deck lid spoiler, so I actually like the Performance Pack Level 1 spoiler the best. It's the highest spoiler that Mustang has, but still yet it's subtle. It looks good back there. And a body colored rear spoiler is going to be the standard configuration though. It's kind of a lip spoiler back there. LED sequential tail lamps coming standard. So they are LEDs, and sequential meaning when you put the turn signal on, it's going to look like those LEDs are sliding from one side to the other. So I've always been a big fan of that. License plate lighting also comes standard back there. You do have a matte black rear diffuser down below there, and of course to the sides, dual exhaust outlets with quad tips. The quad tips is a new thing starting in 2018. Previously, the GTs just had dual exhaust outlets with dual tips. So love that the quad tips are there, but nonetheless, like I mentioned earlier, we do have the active valve performance exhaust, which goes for $895 if you wanted that option, but there is a quiet mode with that, sport, normal, and track. So it's gonna open and close the exhaust valves essentially. So what do you guys say? I'll do a little comparison here, and let's go ahead and do that exhaust clip. Also, but now since we are around back, when it comes to opening that rear trunk of the Mustang, there is a button on the key fob that you press twice. That is one way to unlock it. Of course, there is a button by the driver's side left knee. That is yet another way. And the kind of secretive way is there's a rubberized button just above the license plate in the back there. That is the third way to go ahead and open up that rear trunk. That third way is probably the way I use the most often, so I love that that's there. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 13.5 cubic feet for the fastback. When you're talking about the convertible, though, that comes in at 11.4 cubic feet, a little bit less there. Regardless, if that was not enough space, those rear seats do fold down. There's a 50-50 split. And having said that, I've actually been able to fit 4 wheels and tires back there when I went to switch them out. So there's actually a decent amount of space back there when you fold those rear seats down. I've also had my dog back there actually as well. But anyways, make your way up to the rear legroom. That comes in at an even 29 inches for the fastback, 29.2 inches for the convertible. For reference, I'm even 6 feet tall. There's no way I'm going to be able to fit back there, quite honestly. Kids might be able to fit back there. Of course, you do have latch back there too for car seats, but most definitely adults are not going to be able to fit back there, unfortunately. But that's as expected in a car like this, really. But making our way to the front seats, cloth seating is going to be the standard configuration. That's what I have in mind. They're perfectly comfortable. 6-way power driver's seat comes standard with power lumbar, 6-way power adjustable passenger seat as well. Leather seating, what we have today, is going to come with the premium package, and that of course is power adjustable as well, and heated and ventilated. And I want to mention there is a red leather available, and there's some black and blue contrast stitching available. There's a light ceramic color available. There's a bunch of different configurations you can go with if you were to go with the leather setup at least. But Caro bucket seats are available for $1,595. If you wanted those, it's going to provide you enhanced bolstering. The downside or the trade-off is you can't get heated or ventilated seats with those. That's the trade-off. But anyways, let's now go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is a very smooth leather wrapped steering wheel, and you can get a heated steering wheel that is available with the 401A package. That goes for $2,200. So you need the premium trim, and then it's just an extra package deal with the premium, basically. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me first start by showing you guys the key here. You do have your Mustang logo on the one side end. When you flip it over, lock, unlock, the button to pop the rear hatch, and the ×2 button kind of in the middle there, that is going to be your remote start, which comes standard across the board. Gotta love that. So all you need to do to start that up is simply lock the car first, then press that twice, and the Mustang GT is going to start off for you. So that's a pretty cool button. Nonetheless, there is a push button start located just in front of the shifter there, so all I am going to do is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button there. And so when it comes to the gauges, this is where it's going to differ quite substantially here. The standard gauge setup is currently what you're looking at right now, also what I have on my Mustang, perfectly happy with it. But the cool setup is the digital gauge cluster found in the 401A package for the premium fastback. So you have to get the premium, and then again, it's an additional package there, but that's going to give you a full customizable digital display, which is pretty darn sweet if you ask me. But even if you don't go with that, you still can completely adjust the colors of this digital gauge cluster. There's tons of different colors you can pick. Of course, have your very small digital display front and center, which again can be controlled by using the steering wheel mounted controls on the right side of the steering wheel there. It gives you trip A or trip B, how many miles you have left until you hit empty. There's your oil life meter up there. You can also play around with your track apps like I was mentioning earlier to you guys. Really, all that you need is within that small digital gauge cluster. So that's why that was perfectly fine for me, at least. But the digital gauges, of course, are going to look a lot cooler. But touching on overall interior quality, there is no sun or moonroof available for the Mustang GT. I wanted to start by mentioning that because somebody is going to ask. Dual zone climate control does come with the premium package and the base 301A package if you wanted those. Premium pack is also going to add aluminum foot pedals. Brushed aluminum interior trim comes standard. There's an auto dimming rear view mirror also coming standard. Again, that ambient lighting I was mentioning to you guys, that comes with the premium package, or for the base fastback, there's a 301A package. That's what you're going to need to get that. And again, that gives you a ton of different colors. It includes ambient lighting on the illuminated door sills, the door handles, cup holders, of course the gauge colors, and also the small little gauges just above the infotainment screen for your oil pressure and vacuum gauge as well. So it really does adjust quite a bit with that ambient lighting. I love it in my particular Mustang, definitely something I would recommend there. Universal garage door openers are going to come standard with the premium package. That's going to be found on the driver's side sun visor. Would recommend that. That prevents you from getting the rattling garage door opener that you clip to to the sun visor that I have. There is a carbon fiber package I wanted to mention that goes for $1,195. That replaces the aluminum trim. But perhaps the first thing I noticed when I got in the 2020 Mustang is yet another change for the 2020 Mustang, being just above the passenger side glove box. There is a little insignia or logo, and it has the pony logo, and it says Mustang 55 years. In my 2019, it just says Mustang. It does not say 55 years. So yet another very small change to the 2024 Mustang GT. So I wanted to mention that once again. But so then getting down to the details here, you do have a little bit of rubberized storage just in front of the shifter there. Also a USB charging port. That's where you're gonna be able to hook up Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. When it comes to the glove box, there's a decent sized glove box, and then there's a little yellow button within the glove box. When you press that, you have space to put your owner's manual or whatever. That's gonna be there for you as well. Also a couple cup holders just behind the shifter and within the center armrest. You have yet another USB charging port, as well as a 12-volt power outlet in there as well. And overall, interior quality is pretty much as expected for the Mustang. It's not going to be up to Lexus standards or anything like that, but it is certainly quite nice. And I do want to also mention, with the premium package, you do have some nice leather finishes on the doors with some contrast stitching. You do not get that in the base fastback, so I wanted to mention that. That comes with the premium package as well. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the tech display. The standard setup is the Sync 4.2-inch display. It's not the one I recommend. I would go with, and what I did go with, was the Sync 3 8-inch color touchscreen display, which you're looking at right now. You can get it with the premium package that we have today, or you can get it with the base 301A package, which is how I got it in my base fastback. Bluetooth and audio streaming comes standard either way. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay only comes with the Sync 3. You can't get that on the Sync, of course. And that's important because that gives you free navigation once you hook up your smartphone displayed up on that tech display, as well as the ability to like and dislike your pin door songs. And there's a couple other compatible apps as well up there. Factory navigation system goes for $995 if you wanted that. Climate control information you can always find up there as well, along with your radio settings. And by the way, when it comes to the sound system, you will get 6 speakers. That is going to be the standard setup with the base fastback. 9-speaker sound system comes with the premium package that we have today and the base 301A package. And then there is an optional Bang & Olufsen 12-speaker sound system that goes for $995, and that includes a subwoofer, of course, as well. But we do have that 9-speaker sound system, which I have in my own personal car today. So what do you say? Let's go ahead and turn that on, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Honestly, that's one of the things I love about my Mustang as well. That 9-speaker sound system, believe it or not, is pretty darn good. Definitely has a ton of bass, plenty of clarity, so no issues for me, having owned it for a year and a half now. I have no issues with that sound system whatsoever. Loved it in this as well. It's the same thing. Last thing though I wanted to mention on that tech display, at least, is when you do put the Mustang in reverse, you will find a rear view camera for all trim levels across the board, letting you know who or what is behind you, which as always is going to lead us into safety. And so to start, front side curtain airbags do come standard, but in addition to that, driver and passenger knee airbags as well. It definitely doesn't come standard on every vehicle out there. In the back, again, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats. Reverse sensing system is actually going to come standard as well. That is going to be the parking sensors in the back. It's going to beep at you when you get too close to an object, so you're less likely to actually hit something. That's always good. And again, there is a safe and smart package that goes for $1,000, and I already mentioned all that. It gives you adaptive cruise control, rain sensing, windshield wipers, and a bunch of other stuff. Did want to also mention though, the 401A package for the premium only, that is going to give you that blind spot monitor with rear cross traffic alert. So that is the one and only way you were going to get that blind spot monitoring system, in case you were interested. But overall, when it comes to my final thoughts, I am quite happy still to this day. No regrets with my purchase whatsoever, minus I wish I would have got that adaptive damping suspension, but still, even without that, I absolutely love my Mustang GT in 2019 form, and the 2020 is essentially the same thing, minus a couple cosmetic updates, really, and some color changes, of course. But acceleration is wonderful, braking is insane, handling is great, the steering feel, I should say, is absolutely wonderful, and you can adjust that, like I was saying. Love the track apps feature, love the ambient lighting, and really the only thing with the track apps I would change is I would want Ford to put a top speed up there as well. Not to encourage people to drive faster necessarily, just because the Dodge Charger, the Dodge Challenger, they actually do that already, so I would love if Ford did that as well. But other than that, this car really is perfect for me personally. That's why I bought one, and again, it is the #1 selling sports car in the world for good reasons. So absolutely ton of bang for your buck. I'm really not sure you can get more bang for your buck at this particular price point, but that is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.